right, we are on the record. It is Saturday, January 22nd, 2022. We're here for initial appearances in the 9th Judicial Circuit. I'm Judge Madrigal. I'll be presiding today. We're going to start with Oscar Herrera.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Let's go ahead and get appearances. We'll start with the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Tabitha Gano on behalf of the state.
You can stay seated.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jose Rivas on behalf of Oscar Herrera, Judge. I need a Spanish interpreter, Judge.
He does?
And good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have not been sworn this morning, Your Honor.
You raise your right hand, please.
You solemnly swear. Going to translate from Spanish to English, Spanish testimony given today.
I do.
All right, good afternoon, sir. What's your name and date of birth?
Buenas tardes, caballero. ¿Cuál es su nombre y su fecha de
It's
nacimiento?
still morning. Good morning, sir. What's your name and date of birth?
Oscar Herrera, June 16, 89.
And, Your Honor, for the clarification of the interpreter, if we're going to be using the interpreter, I respectfully request that he speak in Spanish.
Okay.
Sir, we understand you may understand some English, but just speak.
Caballero, si usted quiere, aunque usted entienda algo el inglés y quiere usar al intérprete, por favor, hable solamente en español.
Okay.
And just make sure you take pauses. I don't expect you to speak much, but
No espero que hable mucho usted, pero si va a hablar, por favor, tome pausas para permitirle al intérprete.
okay. All right, Ms. Herrera, you are here on a conditional release violation.
Señor Herrera, usted se encuentra aquí en el día de hoy por incumplimiento de una libertad condicional.
Another judge has already found probable cause.
Otro juez ya ha determinado el motivo fundado.
Counsel, do you want to be heard on terms
yeah,
of
Judge.
release?
Licenciado, ¿quiere decir algo sobre las condiciones?
Yes, Judge. Judge, my understanding is that he was placed on pretrial diversion on this particular case in 20 MM 7213. He was placed on pretrial diversion in February, and then he was, the case was abated, but somehow he was put back on pretrial release on last October, the 3rd of, October 3 of last year. And
Counsel,
now-
if you allow me, please. Según yo entiendo, él estaba en el programa de desvío prejudicial, en el caso 20 MM 7213. Pero creo que en febrero fue aplazado, pero el 3 de octubre del año pasado lo volvieron a colocar en el programa de desvío prejudicial.
Now, I'm being told that he's no longer in pretrial release.
Ya él no se encuentra en el programa de libertad prejudicial.
The violation that occurred in Polk County, he's RR on that, so that, as long as he provides a valid address.
El incumplimiento que él tiene en el condado de Polk se le dio libertad bajo palabra y según yo tengo entendido fue por no dar una dirección válida.
And that was a CT case, Judge, in Polk County.
Eso fue un caso de CT en el condado de Polk.
Right, from what I have, he was on pretrial release, and this is a violation of pretrial release because he picked up the new law in Polk.
Bueno, él estaba en libertad prejudicial y es un incumplimiento de eso porque él lo detuvieron un nuevo delito en el condado de Polk.
So maybe I'm misunderstanding you. Was he on pretrial diversion and then he got kicked out of pretrial diversion? State, can you shed some light on that?
Fiscalía nos pudiera aclarar, quería entender si es que él estaba en un programa de desvío prejudicial y a él le dieron de alta, lo botaron del programa o qué.
Because what I have is he was on pretrial release and then he picked up the criminal traffic in August, and that's why he's here.
Porque según entiendo, él estaba en la libertad prejudicial y entonces obtuvo un nuevo cargo de tránsito en agosto y por lo tanto esa es la razón por la cual él está aquí.
Yes, Your Honor. I was under the impression that this was on the pretrial release violation. The defense did make the state aware that the defendant was on pretrial diversion, but I had no knowledge of that going into this.
Yo estaba bajo la impresión de que él estaba aquí en un cumplimiento del programa de libertad prejudicial, pero el abogado defensor me ha indicado que él de hecho estaba en el programa de desvío prejudicial, pero yo no tenía conocimiento de eso antes de este momento.
Judge, the docket in Orange County shows that he was placed on pretrial diversion and the case was abated. So I don't know why or how they would put him back into pretrial. It also doesn't show that he's been kicked out of the pretrial diversion program that's been revoked. I don't believe that's on the docket as well. And he didn't,
Señor, en el expediente del condado de Orange, él aparece que fue colocado en el programa de desvío prejudicial y no muestra que él estaba en libertad prejudicial y tampoco indica que a él lo votaron del programa de desvío de procesamiento legal.
Was he accepted to pretrial diversion?
Yes,
Él
Your
fue,
Was the contract
acepta-
signed?
él fue aceptado al programa de desvío de procesamiento legal y se firmó un contrato.
Yes, Your Honor, it seems that the pretrial diversion form was approved back in April of 2021. And I apologize, I didn't hear the second half of what you
Was the
said.
Sí, su
contract signed?
señoría, parece que el formulario fue aprobado para el programa de desvío de procesamiento legal en abril del año pasado, el 21, y disculpe, no escuché la otra parte de lo que usted me había dicho.
I said, was the contract signed and approved? Because my understanding
El contrato fue firmado y aprobado porque, según entiendo,
is that the court will abate the case, refer it to pretrial diversion, but then there's still some sort of approval process that your office goes through that the court wouldn't be aware of and the docket wouldn't reflect.
pero el tribunal está consciente que lo coloca en el programa de desvío del programa de procesamiento legal. El caso se aplaza, pero después que él está colocado en ese programa, yo sé que hay un proceso de aprobación que hace su oficina, que el juzgado no tuviera conocimiento de ese proceso.
My understanding is just because the docket reflects somebody was referred to pretrial diversion doesn't mean that they are in pretrial diversion.
Simplemente porque nuestra información que contiene el expediente indique que él fue referido al programa de desvío de procesamiento legal, no quiere decir que lo aceptaron en ese programa.
Yes, Your Honor, I have that the referral form was approved, but I'm not seeing a contract that was entered or that was signed by the defendant.
Sí, su señoría, veo que el referido sí fue aprobado, pero no veo un contrato aquí para este acusado que fuese firmado.
Judge Shoemaker signed the warrant. He set no bond, so I'm gonna stay that. I understand your position. I understand the confusion, but I have to, follow this warrant.
El juez Shoemaker emitió una orden de arresto y no le dio derecho a fianza. Yo entiendo su punto de vista, que hay cierta confusión, pero yo tengo que cumplir con esa orden.
Judge, if I may clarify, that there is, on this 2020 case, there is a warrant signed by Judge Shoemaker?
Para aclarar, en este caso 2020, el juez Shoemaker firmó una orden de
You
arresto.
can approach if you'd like.
¿Se puede acercar?
They're at the bottom there. I need it back, but. All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
Judge, if I may readdress, I guess what I don't understand is typically when you're put on pretrial diversion and the case is abated, you don't get put on pretrial release,
I'm sorry, Counselor, could you kind of repeat that? I didn't catch that.
right? Usually when the case is put on pretrial diversion, the case gets abated, you don't get put back on pretrial release. And that's what I'm trying to understand, the procedure from pretrial release, Again, I've never seen a circumstances where someone, it's on pretrial diversion. Usually if there's a new law violation, it would kick them out of PTD and we go back to court.
Típicamente en el programa de desvío de procesamiento legal se aplaza el caso, pero no lo vuelven a colocar en libertad provisional. Yo estoy tratando de entender esto que nunca lo he visto, porque aún si él fracasa en el programa de desvío de procesamiento legal, lo vuelven a presentar en frente del juzgado, pero no lo colocan en libertad provisional.
I don't disagree with you.
No, no es que no esté de acuerdo con usted.
In light of that, Judge, then I would ask the court to consider it a bond. So, we can go back to court and address this in Shoemaker's division, Judge.
Basado en eso, le estoy pidiendo que si usted pudiera considerar una fianza para entonces poder ir a enfocar y tramitar esto en frente del juzgado del juez Shoemaker.
We also know that pretrial diversion takes a long time to sign, Judge, and my understanding is he has not received the contract. He's retaining me on both cases, so we're going to make sure we follow through this week and whatever needs to be done, that gets done.
Yo sé que el programa de desvío de procesamiento legal se tarda mucho tiempo para firmar el contrato. Él todavía no ha recibido el contrato. Él me ha contratado en ambos casos y nosotros le daremos seguimiento a esto en esta próxima semana.
The new law violation is the criminal traffic, Judge. Like I said, and even in Polk County, they released him on RR. There was an issue with the address, so as long as he provides a valid address, Polk County is actually releasing him on ROR.
Inclusive este nuevo delito que fue de tráfico, En el condado de Polk, él le dieron libertad bajo palabra. El único problema que hubo es con la validez de la dirección. Le podemos dar una dirección válida en estos momentos.
No,
State?
and also, Judge, my
Hold on,
client's a
hold on.
U.S. citizen as well, too,
Y
Judge.
mi cliente es ciudadano norteamericano también.
And the reason I say that is because he's able to fix the issues that he has with his driver's license, Judge.
La razón por la cual estoy indicando eso es que él puede resolver los problemas que tiene con su licencia de conducir.
And my understanding, there are financials, Judge, so if he's able to get out and continue to work, rather than sit here for another week or two until we go in front of Judge Shoemaker, that would be a good option, Judge.
Y según yo entiendo es por problemas financieros, así es que si él puede salir y puede trabajar en vez de estar aquí sentado por 1 o 2 semanas esperando al juez Shoemaker sería una mejor opción.
State?
¿Fiscalía?
Your Honor, in regards to pretrial diversion, like I said, the last note I have is that it was received, no contract was signed or entered into. I'm not sure
It
how
may
that
have been
would.
sent to that, oh, sorry.
Su señoría, según el programa de desvío de procesamiento legal, lo último que yo sé es que no se recibió un contrato, no hubo contrato firmado, así es que no estoy segura si se radicó un contrato o no.
And also, too, Judge, pretrial
Hold on,
diversion
hold on,
takes a
hold on,
long
hold on,
time.
Counsel, hold on. So, State, we're just discussing whether to release him with a bond.
Fiscalía, lo que estamos tramitando es si se pudiera darle libertad bajo fianza.
I understand, Your Honor. Given the underlying offenses, the state would not have an objection to a bond.
Entiendo, su señoría, basado en los delitos subyacentes, la Fiscalía no tuviera objeción a una fianza.
What was his bond on the original?
¿Y cuál fue la fianza original que tuvo?
Oh, he was on pretrial release. Okay.
Estaba en libertad prejuicial.
I'll give him a, is there conditions of no contact on that original?
Judge,
¿Hay condiciones prohibiéndole contacto en el caso original?
Judge, my understanding, we did a motion to modify conditions, and they have contact, Judge.
Y yo creo que se ha emitido un pedimento para modificar las condiciones y ya ellos han tenido contacto. Su señoría, él no reúne requisitos para la libertad prejuicial.
He didn't qualify before or now?
¿Antes o ahora? No, ahora.
Yeah, it was modified to no hostile contact. I'm gonna give him a bond, $250 monetary bond.
Sí, fue modificado contacto sin hostilidad. Le voy a dar una fianza de $250.
I'm gonna make sure that he understands that the conditions of release still exist.
Y quiero que él entienda que las condiciones de su libertad aún permanecen.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you, Judge. That's all I have. Maybe excuse.
You may. Yes.
No contact or no hostile contact?
There's an order from, looks like November? From November 17th that modified it to no hostile contact.
Hubo un pedimento que se emitió el 17 de noviembre modificando a contacto sin hostilidad.
Stephanie Saldana.
Approaching Your Honor.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning, appearance, please.
Good.
Let's do it again.
Have a thing now on behalf of the state.
I guess it's always fair to start with the state first, Judge. Sean Landers on behalf of Ms. Saldana. If I may be heard briefly on PC as to the charge listed and then any terms and conditions of release.
Sure.
Looking at the affidavit of the Oakland Police Department, the listed charge is conspiracy to commit battery. See, a conspiracy is a agreement between two parties to commit an illegal defense. Both parties in this case, Mr. Gonzalez, who is also listed in the affidavit as a named victim in Ms. Saldana's affidavit, was also arrested. He is here for initial appearance today. I believe he's going to be represented by the Public Defender's Office. Looking at the affidavit of the Oakland Police Department, looks like they spoke to both people. Both alleged that there had been some sort of contact without their consent. Since the Oakland Police Department cannot determine the primary aggressor, essentially arrested both, but listed in paragraph 4 is that Mr. Hoffman signed intent not to prosecute. As listed, as far as a conspiracy to commit battery, I don't believe there's enough evidence that there's a conspiracy to commit battery on each other, which is an intentional act, actual or intentional act of touching without the consent, where they somehow agreed to not consent to touch each other for what's listed. That's why I'm arguing that there's not probable cause and to release and recognizance Ms. Saldana, but in the alternative, if the court does find probable cause to release her on pretrial release, one of the issues, they do live together, they're not married, they do not have children together, but they do reside together, so it does fall under the domestic realm, is that they have no hostile contact. Since Mr. Gonzalez is an arrestee here for initial appearance, I can't necessarily call him as a witness, but listed in the affidavit of probable cause from the Oakland Police Department, as mentioned before, his intent, he signed an intent not to prosecute for whatever that means. I don't have access to that document. I would ask that there be a no hostile contact order and not a no contact or maintain separate residence order.
It's charged as a
Yes, Your Honor, I see that it's charged as the conspiracy of, I guess, to commit battery. Your Honor, the state would just argue that, in order for this altercation to have started, so, you know, there would have had to been a touch or a strike against someone else. In regards to Ms. Saldana, the complainant stated that she had struck him and had a knife on her, and that she had slapped him on the left side of his face. Whether or not he wants to prosecute going forward, the state is under the impression that probable cause does exist, in the sense that the complainant didn't state that she had, the defendant hit him. If the court does not find probable cause, or if there is a question as to probable cause, we would just ask for a 24-hour continuance in order to further establish.
a little confused. And I see where you're getting the conspiracy. When I look at the actual arrest affidavit, it has a statute for just simple battery. 784.03 1A1. So I'm gonna find PC for battery. I'm going to release her PTR. In terms of the return to the home,
Judge, what's difficult?
without his
Mr.
testimony, obviously, it's a little bit difficult to find a non-hostile. I don't know how he,
Judge, he is here. I don't know if Ms. Taylor with the Public Defender's Office would be willing to elicit testimony from him. I'm in a position because he was also arrested to call him as a witness.
And Judge, the way that we've kind of handled these in the past is Your Honor would bring them both in, and then just for the purposes of determining the conditions of release, hostile or no hostile, either the court could inquire. I have no problem with that because, I mean, he is.
is he up here? He's here, Your Honor. Okay, let's.
Hoffman?
Yes,
Yeah. No, I'm just gonna ask him. Because his affidavit indicated, or one of the affidavits indicated, he did not want to prosecute.
Judge, I have no problem with the court just inquiring of him what his position is as far as contact and conditions of release.
Question, is everybody sworn in the back? Or do I have to swear him in when he comes in? We've had an eventful two first cases. It's the street lawyers, they, Hi, sir. Sir, up here.
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
Sorry?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. And yourself?
Pretty good. What's your name, sir?
First name is Hoffman Gonzalez.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm gonna just ask you a question on something very limited. You and Miss Saldana reside at the same home, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Obviously, there's some difficulty because of the charge of the incident in both of you returning to that home. Do you have a desire to continue to reside together?
I do.
Okay. Are you scared of her?
No.
If something were to happen, would you have any problem calling law enforcement?
No, I would call.
Do you desire to have contact with her?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Thank you. That's all. Or any questions from the state
No, Your Honor.
counsel?
No, Judge, and if you want to inquire Ms. Saldana also.
I didn't want to do it while he's here. Thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Saldana, do you desire to have contact with him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do non-hostile contact. I'll allow them to remain at the home. The other condition would be no weapons of any kind.
Yeah, there's no weapons.
So we'll do PTR, no weapons, PC on battery.
Thank you, Judge. I'll explain PTR to her.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I'll have my excused.
All right, Amy Howard. Oh, you may be too, sorry. Thank you. All right,
Good morning,
Here.
Your Honor.
appearance, please.
Tabitha Gano on behalf of the state.
Thank you.
Merrill Glover Gambles on behalf of Amy Howard, Your
All
Honor.
right, Ms. Glover Campbell, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I just saw you this week, right?
Mm,
No?
no,
No? I thought I did.
I don't think so.
Okay. Ma'am, Ms. Howard, you are here on 3 counts. First one is trafficking in fentanyl. Second one is possession of a controlled substance with intent to sell. Third one is grand theft, 3rd degree, motor vehicle. Do you want to be heard on PC?
As to 2 counts only, Your Honor.
Okay.
Possession of controlled substance. Law enforcement entered with a search warrant, Your Honor. First of all, I'd like to say that Ms. Howard, was merely there at the trailer. She doesn't reside there. She has no control necessarily over what goes on there. Possession of controlled substance, they're saying that they found a pill bottle inside of a dryer in that trailer. Something that she did not have knowledge of, and thus she couldn't have had dominion and control over it, Your Honor.
What about when she said she had dope in her bra?
That's something that's a different count, Your Honor.
Hold on.
And as to the motorcycle that was there,
Hold on, let me just.
Yeah.
Hey, State, you want to address that?
Your Honor, the state would just note that at the time that the search warrant was executed, it doesn't appear that anyone else was in the home when these items were located. That along with the fact that she was in possession of another substance, or a fentanyl, I believe the state would argue that there is probable cause for possession of a controlled substance.
You want to respond?
I believe that the possession of controlled substance goes to the bottle of pills that they're saying they allegedly found there, Your Honor. As to the fentanyl, there's no issue of probable cause. I'd like to address that count separately.
Okay. address that count now.
Okay. As to, can I go to the motor vehicle count?
Yes, please.
As far as the motor vehicle goes, Your Honor, there's no nexus or, there was a motorcycle present in that trailer, but there's no nexus or any indication that it had anything to do with Mrs. Howell, Your Honor. As far as her stealing it, there's no indication or any proof of anything like that, Your Honor.
State?
Your Honor, the state would just state again that at the time that this search warrant was executed, there was no one else in the home. The motorcycle was revealed to be stolen, and once again, she was the only person there. So we would say that there was probable cause for that charge as well.
I'm not gonna find PC on the grand theft. I'm gonna find PC on the possession and on the trafficking. So I'll set bond at 100,000 for the trafficking, 2,500 for the possession, ROR on the grand theft.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd like to be heard as to the bond on the trafficking.
Sure.
We would ask the court to consider giving her a more reasonable bond, Your Honor, on the trafficking case. She does not live in the trailer that the search warrant was served on. Yes, she was present. We'd ask the court to consider reducing that particular bond to an amount of $50,000, Your Honor, so that perhaps she would be able to bond out. The $100,000 bond is tantamount to no bond for her, Your Honor.
I'm gonna stay the $100,000 bond, 2,500 on the possession, ROR on the grand theft. No drugs, or other controlled substance without a prescription, and that's it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's do Osceola. Any other private? No? All right, let's do Osceola.
Padilla,
Amaury Padilla,
17 de abril de 1981.
April 17th, 1981.
Are you also Amaris Padilla Rodriguez?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, that other name?
Just add Rodriguez to the last.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. ¿Usted es Amaury Padilla Rodríguez?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Padilla, you are here on one count of battery.
Señor Padilla, usted se encuentra aquí debido a un cargo de agresión.
I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this matter.
Le voy a asignar las oficinas de la licenciada Taylor para que la represente usted en este caso.
I'm going to find probable cause for that charge.
Voy a determinar que existe motivo fundado para ese cargo.
Does he qualify for straight PTR?
Él reúne requisitos para libertad provisional directa.
Yes, sir.
Sí, su señoría.
I'm going to order you release direct PTR.
Le voy a dar libertad bajo las condiciones del programa de libertad provisional.
Okay. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim.
Your Honor.
Se le va a ordenar que
Oh,
no
I'm
tenga
sorry.
contacto con la
All
víctima.
right. Didn't see you. I'm sorry.
Disculpe, no la había visto.
Hello,
What's your name?
Janet.
¿Cómo se llama
Rivera.
usted?
Janet Rivera.
Jenny Rivera.
Okay, Ms. Rivera, if you can raise your right hand for me, please.
Señor Rivera, levante la mano derecha.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Pero solamente afirma que el testimonio que dará será la verdad, toda la verdad, solamente la verdad. Sí.
And Ms. Rivera, are you the victim in this case?
Señorita Rivera, ¿usted es la víctima en este caso?
Yes.
Sí.
Okay. So I found probable cause for the charge. I only want to hear from you about conditions of release.
Yo determiné que existía motivo fundado para el cargo. Quiero escuchar de usted referente a las condiciones de libertad.
Mostly, do you want to have contact with him?
Primordialmente, ¿desea usted contacto con él?
Yes. I think it was a big misunderstanding. We had a physical altercation. We both got physical. This is a first time thing. He's never done anything like this in the 4 years that we've been together.
Eso muy bien. Sí, creo que esto todo fue un malentendido. Fue un altercado físico de parte de los dos y es la primera vez que sucede. Esto no había sucedido anteriormente en los 4 años que estamos juntos.
Are you scared of him?
¿Usted lo teme?
No, I am not.
If something
No.
like this happens again, would you have any hesitation in calling law enforcement?
Usted, si sucedería algo semejante, ¿usted tuviera alguna dificultad en volver a llamar a las autoridades?
I don't think it would happen, but I would if necessary.
No creo que vuelva a suceder, pero si fuese necesario lo haría.
All right, so I'm gonna order no hostile contact.
Voy a ordenar contacto sin hostilidad,
So that means no yelling, screaming, hitting.
o sea, no pueden gritarse, entrar en discusiones, golpearse,
And no alcohol
no se le permite ingerir alcohol
and no weapons.
y no puede portar armas.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Next one I have is Angel Diaz, and that's case 2018 CT 7978.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, your name and date of birth?
Caballero, su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Ángel Gabriel Díaz Suárez, fecha de nacimiento 17/7/71.
Ángel Javier Díaz Suárez, date of birth 17/7/71.
All right, Mr. Diaz Suarez, you are here on a warrant for failure to appear.
Señor Suárez, usted se encuentra aquí por una orden de arresto que fue emitida por falta de comparecencia.
Lo que pasó fue,
Well, what happened is,
So another judge has already found probable cause.
y otro juez ha determinado que existe motivo fundado.
There's 2 cases or 3 cases? And there's 3 cases with the same charge.
Y hay 3 casos con el mismo cargo.
On all those cases, the judge set your bond at $500.
En cada uno de esos casos, el juez había programado su fianza en $500.
So I'll stay that bond.
Voy a dejar tal como están las fianzas.
I'm not sure if I appointed Miss Miller in this case, but I will.
No creo que había asignado a la licenciada este caso, pero lo voy a hacer.
perdone, el 10% no funciona.
Clarification. Repita, señor.
El 10% ¿puedo coger el 10% de la fianza con los 1,500?
So, the 10%, can I do the 10% for the $1,500 bond?
That's something you'll have to discuss with your attorney
Eso es algo que usted tiene que tramitar con su abogado
and the bondsman.
y un fiador.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, caballero.
The next one I have is Herrera Nunez Lanez, and it is on case 21MM2443. Yeah. Right. Afternoon, ma'am. Your name and date of birth, please.
Buenas tardes, señorita. Por favor, me da su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento, por favor.
Yajaira Núñez, enero 30 del 1994.
Clarification. Me dijo enero 30 de qué año?
1994.
94. Yajaira Núñez Lainez, date of birth, January 30th, 1994.
All right. All right, ma'am. Excuse me. You're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Osceola County, Florida.
Señorita, usted se encuentra aquí detenida debido a una orden de arresto que fue emitida del condado de Osceola.
All right, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you.
Le voy a asignar a la licenciada Miller y su oficina para que los represente usted.
That warrant has probable cause and set your bond at 0.
Esa orden de arresto ha determinado ya el motivo fundado y no tiene derecho a fianza.
All right, thank you.
Muchas gracias. Your Honor, does the court require any further assistance from the interpreter
I
at this time?
don't believe so. I believe that's the last case.
May I be excused, Judge?
Well, let's just confirm. Nobody else needs an interpreter, correct?
I don't believe so.
I have that. You may be excused, but I just want to nobody else needs an interpreter?
My God, I think we're good.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good morning. Nice to see you.
You too. Good seeing you. All right, Tolanda Lee. I think this is the one I was thinking of. Confuse this one with the other one. Did you receive, defense, did you receive the affidavit on this case?
For Miss Lee, I believe I did.
This is the one that I printed out for you. It's for
Oh, this was
three,
the
yes.
supplement? Oh.
They're all co-defendants.
Oh, okay. Then yes, thank you.
All right, name and date of birth, ma'am?
Tolanda Lee, 1998, 11/11/1998.
All right. Ma'am, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you on this matter. You are here on 2 counts. First one is kidnapping, the second one is battery. After reviewing the supplement, I'm going to find that there is probable cause for both those charges. I'm going to set a bond for you. On count 1, the kidnapping, I'm going to set your bond at $100,000. On count 2, the battery, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. Oh, wait, hold on. Is this a PBL?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the kidnapping.
I'm gonna hold you no bond on the kidnapping and $10,000 on the battery. Or you have no contact with the victim, no contact with your co-defendants, not returned to the scene, no weapons of any kind.
Yesterday.
All right, thank you.
Judges, is the court finding proof evident presumption great? I haven't done IAs in a little while, but my understanding of the case law is that to go ahead and hold her no bond on the punishable by life felony, the state's got to elicit some level of evidence that convinces Your Honor that proof is evident and the
Don't have a-
presumption of guilt is great, and I
don't think you're entitled to an Arthur hearing now, but we can have one right now if you like.
I mean, the issue is that I obviously wasn't here yesterday, so I don't know what occurred in court. But based on the new supplement, this is like a draft from the sheriff's office. It's not even sworn. So I'm not comfortable with the court relying on that to make a finding of the nature.
Court's
of proof
comfortable
evident
with it.
presumption great. So that's just my position is that it can't be met based on the supplement that we were provided this morning.
Does she get an Arthur hearing right now?
Your Honor, my understanding is yesterday, this was reset for the PC. We reached out to the officer. He said that he did upload this as well, but in order to have this in time, the supplement in time for today, it was emailed to us.
But that's not my question is, does she get an Arthur hearing?
My understanding of the case law is that proof evident presumption great doesn't need to be established at initial appearance. If I believe if she wants to set it for an Arthur hearing, we would ask for another 24-hour reset period to have that.
I don't think you have to do it at IA, but I'll go ahead and do. We'll go ahead and have it. We'll go ahead and have it. Let me take a look. I mean, it's just based on the affidavit, right? I'm not gonna find proof evident presumption great, so I'm gonna give you a monetary bond then. Your monetary bond for the kidnapping will be $2 million, and it'll be $10,000 on the battery. No contact with the victim, no contact with your co-defendants, no return to the scene, no weapons of any kind. Thank you.
Your Honor, could I be heard as to the amount on the
Nope.
the court's finding of
Nope.
$2
I
million?
mean, you can be heard on it, but I'm not gonna change it. 2 million. Yeah. You can be heard.
I'm sorry.
You can be heard.
Okay. So my argument is that $2 million is tantamount to no bond. Ms. Lee's obviously indigent, as the public defender's been appointed to represent her in this case. And I believe a $2 million bond on any case, let alone a situation where the evidence was tenuous enough to be reset so that probable cause could be established. I don't believe that, based on the weight of the evidence, that amount is appropriate, considering the fact that Ms. Lee has minimal criminal history, most of which appears to have been when she was a juvenile. She's 23 years old. And I can take testimony from her as to her ties to the community, but again, setting a bond anywhere near $2 million would be tantamount to no bond for, I think, almost anyone, particularly given the fact that she was appointed a public defender.
I'm going to stay at 2 million. Thank you. The next one is Jamisha Lohman.
I can if you want.
Jamisha Lohman.
Yes, sir.
Name and date of birth, please.
Jimmy Sylvan Roman on 2597.
All right, Ms.
Your Honor,
Lohman.
I apologize if I may. I had the other reset, so now I'm kind of out of order. So what is this a felony DV or?
This is a violation of probation.
Okay.
It's a warrant.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Lohman, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on a warrant for violation of probation. So judge has already found probable cause, set your bond at $5,000. So it'll remain so. Thank you. All right. Skyland Finnegan. Skyland Finnegan.
She's here, Your Honor, just wait for her to.
Name and date of birth, please.
Skyland Finnegan, 8297.
All right, Ms. Finnegan, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on one count of aggravated battery with a weapon. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to order you be released on a $500 bond with PTR. I'm going to order you to have no contact with the victim, not return to the scene, to maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement, maintain separate residence, and no drugs, alcohol, controlled substance without prescription, and no weapons.
Yes, sir. May I ask a question, Your Honor?
Ask your lawyer first before you ask me.
Perfect. Judge, just to clarify, the court's order was the no contact with the alleged victim, Alex Richard? Okay. And that's the only order as to no contact?
Correct.
All right.
Are you talking about the child?
Yes.
Yeah, she can have contact with her child.
Thank you.
Obviously, that's gonna have to be coordinated with somebody. All right, sir, name and date of birth?
William Mahone, sir.
All right, Mr. Mahone, you are here on 6 counts. I'm gonna appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you. You're charged with aggravated stalking after an injunction and violation of domestic injunction times 5.
And Your Honor, the victim is present.
Thank you. All right. Okay. So another judge has already found probable cause. Or is this a capious? It's a capious, so he failed to appear for. So it's a warrant. It's issued as a capious, but it's a warrant.
It's a capious warrant, yeah.
Okay. All right, for capious warrant, on those, 6 charges. So another judge has already found probable cause. I'll re-find probable cause in abundance of caution. Those charges are, as I said before, aggravated stalking after an injunction and 5 counts of violating a domestic injunction. Hi, ma'am.
Hello,
What's your name?
Asia Roberts.
Okay, and are you the victim?
Yes.
All right, if you can raise your right hand, please.
Do solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
Ma'am, I want to hear from you on the conditions of release, please.
I'm here today to ask you not to release him because me and my kids are afraid for our lives. He is a danger to me and my kids and to society. He's constantly harassing, even with the charges that he have now. Just the other day, he came over, flattened my daughter's tires on her car. I don't know, he walks around with a knife. So my thing is, I don't know what is his exception when it would stop for him from harassing us. We are scared every night. We have to go through therapy because of him. We barely can sleep at night. We have to be able to stay at family members' house because he doesn't stay too far away from us. So he's in walking distance where he can see us every day, and we want to be at peace. And I want him to not even have no bond whatsoever. He needs to be in here to deal with the charges that he have been charged. And he needs some time to sit and think. And 1, 2, 3 months is not going to do it. He needs to sit in here for a long time because, as you can see, this is a history that keeps going on and on and on.
Wait, ma'am, so he's entitled to a bond on these counts by law? So I'm gonna have to give him a bond on them, okay? Well, is it a warrant?
Yes, he has a warrant. And if you
It's not a violation of probation, is it?
it's a violation of
No.
an injunction.
Okay. Got it. So he's entitled to a bond on these, so I'm gonna have to give him a bond, okay?
Well, is there a way you could make it very high? Because if he gets out, I'm dead.
All right, anything else, ma'am? Okay, State, do you have any questions for me?
No, Your Honor, I don't have any questions.
Defense?
No, Judge.
Okay. So I'm gonna find probable cause, or it's already been found. I'm gonna set your bond as follows on these counts. I'm gonna set it at $50,000 each count, so the total monetary bond will be $300,000. Additionally, I'm gonna revoke your surety bond on case 21 MM7667. So your bond's revoked on that case. I'm gonna order you again, no contact with the victim. That means no contact. Okay, look at me when I'm talking to you, sir. Look at me when I'm talking to you, sir. No contact means no contact. Okay, no contact. All right, no weapons. And that's it. All right, thank you, sir. All right, thank you, ma'am, for coming. Tashana Towns?
Your Honor, just to clarify, those 50,000 on each and a total of 300.
300,000.
Thank you.
Name and date of birth, ma'am?
Tashana Town, 7185.
All right, Ms. Towns, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on a warrant signed by another judge on 2 counts of, one of child abuse, the second one of battery, domestic violence. On count 1, that judge set your bond at $1,000. On count 2, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. So your total monetary bond will be $2,000. The previous judge found probable cause. I'm going to order you. Now this is interesting. It's your child?
A 16-year-old, my 16-year-old daughter, yes, sir.
Okay, so where is the child now?
Home, what's that?
Alone, or is there somebody else there?
No, she's there with my son and my boyfriend.
Oh, your son and, I'm sorry?
Boyfriend?
Your boyfriend?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State, how do you want to handle the contact?
Your Honor, I unfortunately don't have the facts of this case. The state would ask for, if there is going to be contact, that it be supervised by another adult.
Is it your boyfriend or her boyfriend?
It's my boyfriend, sir.
That's not Deshaun.
No, sir, that's her boyfriend.
Defense?
Judge, we'd be asking for no hostile contact. Based on the facts, it seemed like this was just kind of a mutual fight situation that escalated. It's not really clear to me who was the initial aggressor. I think no hostile contact would be appropriate. Let her return home to her children, but obviously still abide by the court's order that she can't be violent, can't raise her voice.
How old are you?
And it looks like the dog's been removed from the house, and that was
Is
kind
it
of.
a pit bull?
No, sir, it wasn't a people.
What type of dog?
A chihuahua.
Chihuahua. I have a chihuahua. They can be very annoying, but very loving.
And Your Honor, the state would just know, with the defense asking for no hostile contact, that the victim or a guardian or anyone is not here to speak as to their wants going forward.
I don't feel comfortable at this point doing no contact, or no hostile contact, I should say. So I'm gonna do no contact with the victim. Nobody on. So I'm gonna do no contact with the victim. Somebody say something?
Yes, am I able to?
Yeah. Check with your lawyer if it's okay.
That's okay, and you shouldn't. I understand. Judge, I just told her that this is not the best avenue to try and make a statement about her side of the events that took place.
So another judge has already found probable cause for the charges against you, so nothing can change on that today.
I understand the court's
I'm gonna do
order.
no contact, maintain separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement. That'll be it. 1,000, total 2,000. No contact, maintain separate residence. And return one time with law enforcement. Ryan Desiderio. Name and date of birth, please.
April 6th, 1982.
Your name?
Ryan Desideria.
All right, Mr. Desiderio. You are here on one count of battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this. You're on vacation at Animal Kingdom?
It's working. It's not now. Okay. It's working now.
You were on vacation at the Animal Kingdom?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the lions on the safari?
We saw the gorillas. We didn't get to the
The
safari.
lions are never out. Sir, you're here on battery. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. He qualifies for direct PTR? She's not here?
No, Your Honor. I didn't see her downstairs when I went down there, but
Did the department make any contact with the victim?
Yes, sir. It said victim, contact was made and said she would be here. She was provided with the, court date, time, and location.
Did she indicate anything about contact? So I'm going to order you to be released on pretrial release, so there'll be no monetary conditions of your release. At this time, I'm going to order no contact with the victim. I am going to allow you to return to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And no weapons.
Yes, sir.
And no drugs or alcohol, okay?
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right. Hoffman Gonzalez? All right.
Gets assigned to your case.
Hoffman Gonzalez? All right. Hoffman Gonzalez?
There you go.
Ms. Miller, if you, I understand you have to speak to your clients, but, I mean, please keep it moving. All right, sir, name and date of birth?
01/06/1982.
And your name?
First name is Hoffman Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, good to see you again. You're here on one count of battery. I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. I'm going to find probable cause for the charge. I'm going to order you be released. So, I'm going to find PC for a battery, which is what I have on the arrest affidavit, a battery. Did I give her PTR? Did I give her PTR?
Yes.
Straight PTR? Okay, because I'm going to give him a straight PTR. I just want to make sure. All right, I'm going to give you. Okay, so I'm going to give you direct PTR, so there'll be no monetary conditions, and order you to have no hostile contact with her, and no weapons of any kind. All right. Thank you, sir.
What is PTO?
You'll just be released.
Stephanie Loa.
Yes. Here you go.
and Your Honor, the victim is present.
Name and date of birth, please.
Stephanie Lau, 01/03/2003.
Lau?
Lau. L-A-O.
Oh, is it L-A-O?
Yes.
L-O-A.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lau, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on one count of battery, dating violence, and find probable cause for that charge. Sir, what's your name?
Nazir Jermaine.
All right, if you can raise your right hand for me, please.
You solemnly swear affirm testimony you give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, you're the victim in this case?
Yes.
Okay. Do you wish to have contact with Ms. Lau?
Yes.
Are you scared of her?
No.
Would you call law enforcement if something like this happened again?
Yes.
Okay. State, any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any questions for the witness?
No, Judge.
All right, I'm going to order you be released on pretrial release. It'll be no monetary bond for you. Order you to have no hostile contact with Mr. Germain. That means no yelling, hitting, screaming, all that sort of stuff. No, excuse me. No weapons of any kind, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that way.
All right, Tammy Pettis. All right, name and date of birth, please. All right, Ms. Pettis, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on one count of battery, domestic violence. I'm going to find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to order you be released direct PTR. Did we have any contact with the victim? Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't change the page. Okay. At this point, I'm gonna order no contact with the victim. Do you live at the same place? I'm gonna order you to maintain separate residence, but I'll allow you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings. And no weapons. Okay? Thank you. Rogers Marlin? Or Marlin Rogers, I apologize. All right. Sir, name and date of birth, please.
Marlon Tremaine Rogers Senior, 72276.
All right, sir, you're here on one count of battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller and her office to represent you on this case. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to set your bond. At $1,000, order you have no contact with the victim, not return to the scene, to maintain a separate residence, one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings, no weapons of any kind, and no drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription. Thank you, sir. Matthew Shoemaker.
Get you violated.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Matthew Shoemaker, 1926.
All right, Mr. Shoemaker, you're here on one count of battery, domestic violence. I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. He qualifies for direct PTR? I'm going to order you be released on direct PTR. I am going to order you to have no contact with the victim, to maintain a separate residence, but you will be allowed a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve personal belongings, and no weapons of any kind. Erica Alfaro. Name and date of birth, ma'am?
Vanessa Fowler, May 4th, 90.
All right, Ms. Alfaro, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on a failure to appear, so a capias warrant was issued for you. The judge set your bond at 0. It'll remain so. Thank you. I have 2 failures. Yeah. I'm sorry. Emmanuel Charles.
Not right now.
Name and date of birth, sir?
December 10, 1994.
And your name?
Emmanuel Charles.
All right, Mr. Charles, I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 2 counts. First one is possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. Second one is possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to find probable cause for those charges. You have 2 cases. For those charges, I'm going to set your bond on count 1 at $15,000, on count 2 at $100. Order you have no controlled substance, drugs, or alcohol without a valid prescription. On the second case, you have 5 counts. First one is aggravated child abuse. Second one is robbery. Third one is tampering with a witness to hinder communication to a law enforcement officer. Fourth one is child abuse. Fifth one is battery. I'm going to find probable cause on all 5 of those charges. Set your bond as follows. Count 1, $5,000. Count 2, $150. 3, $150. 4, $150. 5, $100. Your total monetary bond on that case will be $5,550. On count 1, it would be 16,001, or case 1, it would be 16,100. On count 2, I'm going to order you to have no contact with any minors, no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, and no weapons of any kind.
Judge, would you consider a bond reduction as to the case ending in 842? I believe the court set that drug offense, possession of cocaine with intent to sell, deliver at $15,000.
Yes.
You'd be asking if the court would consider more reasonable bond, say $2,500, given the bond set in the rest of the charges.
I'll stay the 15,000 bond.
But is it a way I could get it lower? Because I lost my job and I lost other money. I had the same day. I lost my wallet and all my information.
I'm sorry, sir. I know it's hard, but I'm going to keep my decision as is. Jack Clark. Sir, your name and date of birth, please.
Jack Clark, 03-1191.
All right, Mr. Clark, you are here on a warrant. So a judge has already found probable cause on 3 counts. I am going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you. First case is burglary of a, first count, I'm sorry, is burglary of a structure. Second one is criminal mischief. Third one is grand theft 3rd degree. Your bond on count 1 was $3,000. Count 2 was $1,000. Count 1 was $3,000. Count 2 was $1,000. Count 3 was $500. Your total monetary bond is $4,500. I'm going to order you to not return to the scene. Yes.
You have a total of 4 counts?
I only have 3.
You had 2 cases. Jack Clark.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So on the first case, on the 3 counts, I'm going to find probable, well, a judge found probable cause, set your bond at that. I'm going to stay that bond, add the condition of no return to the scene.
What's the case number for that, Judge?
I've got 22 CF 106.
Okay, that's the 3 count, that's what you're on now?
Yeah.
Judge, for that case, could you advise us as to the location that he can't return to?
Sure, hold on a second. They have two cases that have the exact same count. Oh, okay. But this is all the same thing.
Yeah, this is.
Okay, because I just saw that number up there.
Oh, yeah, this affidavit go with this one.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
it show you the location.
It's the AZ cell phone repair.
Thank you.
And on the second case, you have 4 counts. First one is burglary of a structure, second one is criminal mischief, third one is grand theft, fourth one is possession of burglary tools. Set your bond, or find probable cause, set your bond as follows. Count 1, 3,500, count 2, 1,000, counts 3 and 4, 500. Your total monetary bond on that case is 6,000. No, 5,500. And with the same conditions as before. And is there a third case? Okay, and then you're also here on a failure to appear for a petty theft. It looks like the judge set your bond on that case at $500. So that'll be your bond on that case. Oh, sure. No return? That's all I said. This is all one. All right. Thank you, sir.
Fifth or sixth?
Have Arthur Gray?
His behavior.
Yeah.
We'll reset him till tomorrow.
I don't, yeah. I mean,
Carlos Hernandez?
that's very well the case. So, 10%.
All right, name and date of birth, sir?
Oh, he asked your name and date of birth?
Oh, yeah, Carlos Hernandez, 10-4-68.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, you are here on 5 counts. I'm going to appoint Ms. Miller in her office to represent you on this matter. I'm going to find probable cause on all 5 of those counts. Those counts are 1 count for possession of cocaine with a weapon. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've been calling you Miller, and it's Taylor.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Are you correct?
Well, the first couple times with the mask, I wasn't sure which one you were saying, and then I didn't want to be rude.
I knew it ended in I am so sorry.
I answered everything.
No, I am so sorry.
No worries.
No, sorry. Miss Taylor. I'm gonna appoint Miss Taylor in her office to represent you. Maybe there's somebody at the office named Miller. I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
Miss Taylor in her office to represent you. You're here on 5 counts. First one is possession of cocaine with a weapon. Second one is possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver with a weapon. Third one is possession of drug paraphernalia. Fourth one is delivery of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a convenient store. The fifth one is carrying a concealed firearm. I'm going to find probable cause on those charges. Set your bond on count 1 and 2 at 10,000. Counts 3, 4, and 5 at 1,000. Total monetary bond will be 23,000.
Judge,
yes.
may I be heard as to the bond amounts?
Sure.
Mr. Hernandez looks like little to no criminal history. All that pops up on his little sheet here is something from 1997, and I'm not even sure if that's a conviction. Otherwise, he has no history. He's employed full-time. I understand that There's alleged to have been a firearm that he was carrying, but these are still nonviolent drug offenses. And so based on that, I would ask for a reduction to something more reasonable that he can afford in the realm of $5,000.
I'm gonna stay the bonds as I said before. Order no drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription, and no weapons of any kind. Thank you. Will Holmes? Name and date of birth, sir?
Will Holmes, birthday July 14, 1986.
Appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 4 counts. First one is possession of cocaine. Second one is possession of drug paraphernalia. Third one is possession of cannabis. Fourth one is possession of cannabis with intent to sell. Another judge has already found probable cause for those 4 charges. He set your bond as follows: $150 for counts 1, 2, and 3, $15,000 for count 4. Total monetary bond $15,450. He added a condition: do not possess drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription. I'm gonna keep all those conditions and keep those bonds.
And Judge, if I may, again, I sound like a broken record here, but on count 4, possession of cannabis, I understand there's some indication in the facts, or at least it appeared that way to the judge signing the warrant, that there was some intent to sell, but at the end of the day, we're still talking about cannabis. And as it stands now, I don't know that the FDLE or the state of Florida even has any way to differentiate between cannabis, medical cannabis, or hemp. So I'm not challenging probable cause, but I am asking for a more reasonable bond as to count 4, based on the nonviolent nature of these offenses. These offenses would fall under the state attorney's non-incarceration presumptive policy.
Okay. No. I'm gonna not change Judge Young's bonds. Sentencing is not the state attorney's job; it's the judiciary's job. So.
I'm sorry?
I said sentencing and bond setting. I don't care what the state attorneys think. It's separation of powers. I can go into the whole thing, but it's the judiciary's job to do those things. I'm not going to change Judge Young. I'm not going to change Judge Young's bonds.
Okay.
I almost said John Young because we're on street. Yeah, no possession. Same exact thing as the warrant. I didn't change anything from the warrant. All right. Thank you. All right. Verenda Lau.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Was it? All right.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your name and your date of birth.
My name is Virendra Lal. My date of birth is November 24th, 1982.
Mr. Lau, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you. You're here on 1 count of aggravated assault with a weapon. I am going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to set your bond at $3,500. Order you to not have weapons of any kind. Order you to have no contact with the victim.
Okay.
And that's it.
I'm sorry. Are you still speaking, sir?
I said that's it. Thank you.
Okay, can I speak though?
Talk to your lawyer first.
Okay, this is all wrong because this guy is later. If you look up his name, he actually got a restraining order from that address. But none of this makes any sense, and I think that they didn't speak that first. I didn't even see it. Okay. This is all live.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which we did.
Well, why do I need a bond when this makes no sense? The guy.
You don't want
All right. Thank you, sir. Anything else? All right. Thank you.
I guess I can If I say one thing to the, let me know. So just get my bond check, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Gregory Lane? All right, sir, name and date of birth, please.
Gregory Lane, April 22nd, 1959.
Mr. Lane, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 2 counts. First one is burglary of an unoccupied structure unarmed. Second one is trespassing. I'm going to find probable cause for those charges. I'll set your bond on count 1 at $3,500 and count 2 at $500.
Judge, may I be heard as to the bond amounts?
You may.
We're asking for ROR on counts 1 and 2 in this case. The charge of burglary of a structure and trespassing in a structure are both nonviolent. They, in the statutory presumption, the legislature did set out a preference for ROR or other forms of non-monetary release before the court moves on to considering other monetary impositions to protect the integrity of the judicial process. And so based on that and no evidence that ROR is not appropriate, we'd be asking the court to go ahead and release Mr. Lane on his own recognizance, or in the alternative, to consider him for pretrial release.
He doesn't qualify for pretrial release. Can I get a history, please?
I believe he just wasn't interviewed.
Can I get a history?
Possession, control, substance, battery, over 65, trespassing 2, felony, battery, DD. Do you want to go to the rest issue?
No, that's enough. I'm going to keep the bonds as is. Thank you, sir.
And Your Honor, the state.
Your Honor. Hold on. She said something first.
Yes, Your Honor. Would Your Honor be amenable to adding a no return as part of the? Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. There's no release, but if he were to get out, we would want to ensure that he's not
no
going
return.
back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll add no return. Yes.
Your Honor, I'm running for mayor of Edenville. At least I'm campaigning, and the existing mayor, Eddie Cole, as he has an entire police force that has been maliciously persecuting me on the past 2 or 3 times that I've been to jail. I mean, he's trying to keep me from running from office, and I can't do anything about him because he has a whole police force.
Sir, I assure you, I have never met Eddie Cole, so he had nothing to do with this today. I understand where you're coming from. Best of luck in the election.
Well, his police officers are the ones that are persecuting me, you know, at his direction.
Sir, best of luck.
I know you may not have met him, but these charges are totally false against me. I mean, I had permission to live at the residence, and, you know, they're just coming at me all different ways to keep me from running from office.
Thank you, sir. I understand, but there's nothing I can do today.
Okay.
You're all set?
Okay, what are we doing?
You're going that way.
We don't do them for these. Tarbell. Is this
Judge first, and then we'll chat.
What's your name?
My name is Anthony Pike.
Anthony Pike's the next one I have here. So, did Charbel Nasra bond?
Sorry?
Charbel Nasra? 22, do you, that number? Oh, the inmate number? 22001677. Thank you. What about Maria Ortiz?
What's the number?
Inmate is 1647. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Pike. All right, Mr. Pike, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this matter. Excuse me. You're here on 3 counts. First count is for burglary with assault or battery. Second one is battery. Third one is assault. I've reviewed the affidavit. Find there's probable cause for those charges. I am going to give you a bond. Your bond will be as follows. Count 1, 10,000. Count 2, 1,000. Count 3, 500. Your total monetary bond is 11,500. Order you no contact with the victim, to maintain separate residence, no return to the scene, no drugs. Oh, sorry. No weapons of any kind. Thank you.
All right. Yep, that's it.
Okay, Charlie Ramirez.
Medical?
All right, you want to reset till tomorrow? Next one is Dave Reed. Name and date of birth, sir?
Dave Reed, date of birth 08/25/1998.
All right, sir, you're here on a warrant for a violation of probation. So a judge has reviewed your case, set your bond, found probable cause for aggravated assault with firearm and possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you. I am going to he found probable cause. Set your bond on count 1 at 2,500, count 2 at 4,000, total bond at 6,500. Order you to have no contact with the victim or co-defendants and to surrender your weapons and firearms. So no weapons of any kind. Is he currently out on anything? Give him 48 hours upon release. So 48 hours upon release is surrender your weapons. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Jeremy Reynolds.
He refused.
All right, we'll reset him till tomorrow. Pedro Rivera.
Yes, sir.
What's your date of birth, sir?
February 26, 2002.
Okay, Mr. Rivera, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you. You're here on a warrant for a grand theft, 3rd degree. So probable cause has been found. I'll find it again just in case. I'm going to set your bond at 1,500. In order you have no contact directly with the victim, co-defendants or witnesses, no hostile contact, no contact at all with the victim, not return to the scene, not to possess any weapons or firearms, and do not drive without a valid driver's license. Then you have another case of fleeing and eluding a law enforcement officer with lights and sirens activated. I'll find probable cause. Yes?
That case is already handled.
It is?
It was, 117. That is, you said, Miss,
This is running.
I think it was
Only thing we have is just the 22 CF 776.
That's the only one.
Yeah, it's only 1,500.
guarantee it in there.
Give us 1 second. It's just the one we addressed. The grand theft. No, no, no worries. All right. But it's on the KPS case.
Yes.
Okay, so we addressed it, so, okay. It's just that one case, not three. All right, so thank you, sir. So just to recap, charge of grand theft, KPS was issued, so there was a warrant. So you found probable cause. I'll find probable cause. Bond at 1,500, no contact, no return, no weapons, and drive with a valid driver's license. All three, sir. So no contact with victim, co-defendants, or witnesses. Sorry. Thank you, sir. All right, name? Date of birth?
Russell.
All right, Mr. Russell. You're here on one count of damage to property, $1,000 or more. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you. I'm going to find probable cause for that charge. I'm going to set your bond on that case at $1,000. You're currently on ROR for burglary of an occupied dwelling. I'm going to revoke your ROR on that.
Judge, would you consider setting a new bond on the case where he's out on bond?
No. I'm going to also say no return to the scene on the current case.
Those cases are unrelated. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Right, so I'm revoking on. Yep. All right, Victor Salgado?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Salgado, you're here on 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill and possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, and on a second case of DUI. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor to represent you on both cases. On the first case, on count 1, the aggravated assault with a weapon with a deadly weapon without intent to kill. I'm going to find probable cause. I'm going to set your bond at $25,000. On count 2, the possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. Yes. I understand. I'm going to set your bond at $10,000. On the second case, DUI, I'm going to find probable cause, and I'm going to give you PTR on that case. Yeah, no contact with the victim, no weapons of any kind. Oh, for the PTR one? No drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription.
Judge, I'm sorry, I missed the bond on the firearm, on the aggravated assault.
25,000
or 100?
1,000.
And then the firearm by convicted felon was
10,000. Yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes,
is that second case, the DUI, is that straight PTR or is that?
great PTO.
And the conditions of the first, the aggravated assault and the possession of
No,
weapons?
no contact with the victim and no weapons.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Did I give you Victor Saldana? Cody Siegfried?
Mental health.
Okay, we'll reset him till tomorrow. Lanier Warner? Name and date of birth, sir?
May 27th, 1960.
Mr. Warner, you're here on 2 counts of, first count is possession of MDMA ecstasy, second one is possession of drug paraphernalia. Appoint Ms. Taylor and her officer to represent you. To find probable cause for both those charges, set your bond on count 1 at 1,000, count 2 at 100. Order you to have no drugs or other controlled substance without a prescription. And that'll be it. I have Alex Williams next.
Yes, sir. Yep. You're all set? With the bonds, man. Oh, it's ready. In the back.
All right, name and date of birth, sir? Your name and date of birth?
Oh, sorry. Alex Leonard Williams, 010863.
All right, Mr. Williams, you are here on 5 counts. First one is trafficking in cocaine. Second one is possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver. Third one is possession of cocaine with intent to sell, deliver. Fourth one is possession of cannabis greater than 200 grams. Third one is possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you on this matter. I'm going to find probable cause for all those charges. I'm going to set your bond as follows. Count 1, 50,000, count 2, 1,000, count 3, 15,000, count 4, 1,000, count 5, 500. So your total monetary bond will be 67,500. I'm going to order you to have no drugs or other narcotics without a prescription. That'll be it. Thank you, sir. Sure. I'm just gonna go down 50, 1, 15, 1, and then $500. So I said 67.5. I think that's right. Justin Arbo, sorry. Right, name and date of birth?
3/26/90.
Are you Justin Arbo? All right, Mr. Arbo, you're here on a failure to appear. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this. You failed to appear. Judge issued a warrant. Set your bond at $1,000, so I'll stay that bond. Thank you, sir. No, man, this one's J. Coleman'sberger. Is this an FTA? Oh, arrest warrant. All right, name and date of birth?
J. Coleman'sberger, 11/12/99.
All right, Mr. Coleman'sberger, you're here on an arrest warrant for a petty theft. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you on this matter. A judge has already found probable cause on that charge. Set your bond at $500. I'll keep it there. I'll add the condition of no return to the scene.
Wait, so I got a bond? I can bond out?
You can bond out on that case, $500. Now, is he's out on 2 other cases for petty theft? All right. I'm gonna revoke his bond on both those cases.
Any way I could pay double bond?
Sure. You'll just have to take it up with the trial judge.
Judge, would it change your decision on the revocation, if you knew that the out on bond case had not been filed yet?
Which one?
The, 2021 MM 9008 AO?
It would.
So the state has not filed an information in that case. As to the second case for which he's out on bond, 21 MM 9253 AO, the state has also not filed an information with respect to that charge.
I'm still gonna revoke. Still revoke.
Any chance that I could get a bond?
Yes, sir, you have a bond on this case at 500. No return, yes. Tyra Miller? Name and date of birth, please.
Tyra Miller, July 25th, 2000.
All right, Ms. Miller, you're here on a failure to appear. So a judge set your bond at $2,000 for failing to appear. I will keep that bond. Set your bond at $2,000 for failure to appear. On the she's out on bond on the possession case. I'm gonna felony cases? I'm gonna revoke on the felony case, but I guess, is it called reinstate at 1,500? Is that the right terminology? Yeah.
Judge, I think that would be the right terminology, but I don't know that there's authority to revoke if there's no new law offense.
No, I can definitely revoke, or she's just getting arrested on another case.
Well,
Failure
but
to appear.
the arrest was for a failure to appear, not a new law violation.
Well, one was a petty theft that she didn't appear for. I guess that's the question. We'll make it simple. I'll take no action on the other case.
Thank you, Your Honor. You're good.
Madeline Santana. Your name and date of birth, please.
Madeline Santana, August 5th, 1960.
All right, Ms. Santana, you're here on failing to appear. So a judge found you didn't show up, so a judge issued a warrant for your arrest, set your bond at $5,000.
I was in the hospital. on.
I'll keep it, that way. Does she also have?
She's out.
I'll take no action on the other cases.
Thank you.
Brandy Villegas. All right, name and date of birth.
Brandy Villegas, 11/8/82.
Ms. Villegas, you're here for failure to appear. Judge issued a warrant for your arrest for failing to appear. Set your bond at $500. So I'll stay that bond, so it'll stay. Thank you. Terry McFadden. Name and date of birth? Or your name and date of birth?
Terry McFadden, June 9th, 1972.
All right, Mr. McFadden, you're here on a failure to appear. So another judge has already found probable cause and will appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you. They set your bond at $250, so I'll stay that bond.
Your Honor, Mr. McFadden was interested in an offer from the state to resolve the case. I believe this is an M2.
Oh, he failed to appear. That's a charge.
On a charge of no valid.
Right.
So it's.
Are you the assigned?
Your Honor, if I could just have one moment. I wouldn't be the assigned just based on his last name, even if it is in my division, but,
Maybe if he showed up, he could have gotten an offer.
yeah, if I could have, I think I would rather the ASA assigned to this, handle this case when he appears in front of whichever judge he's supposed to be in front of.
I mean,
It's in front of Judge Jewett, female Jewett.
Evelyn, yeah.
Evelyn. Evelyn.
the issue is it's a victimless crime, and if
Yeah, but he didn't show up.
can't
That's why
afford-
he's here, because he didn't show up. She's not making an offer, so, thank you, sir. Adelina Morales,
She's mental health.
we'll reset till tomorrow. Lukney Preble?
Sir.
All right, sir, your name and date of birth, please. Your name and date of birth.
Oh, my name is Lutner Preville, and I'll
Sure, Mr. Preville.
1998.
Thank you. Mr. Preville, you're here also on a failure to appear. So a judge issued a warrant, set your bond in that case at $1,500. So I'll stay that bond. I'll take no other action on the other case.
And just for the record, Your Honor, is the Office of the Public Defender appointed?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll appoint Ms. Taylor in her office. It was previously appointed.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have Jaylene Melendez. Your name and date of birth, please.
Jaylene Melendez, November 1st, 1993.
Ms. Melendez, you're here on one count of battery.
Yes.
I've reviewed the affidavit. I do find that there is probable cause for that charge. You had a private attorney before. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this case. So I'm going to set your bond at $500, order you not to return to the scene, have no contact with the victim, and no alcohol, drugs, or other controlled substance without a prescription. On the case you're out on PTD, I am going to revoke on that case. Thank you. Naisha Akins.
Sorry, Judge, are we appointed on both cases, the out on bond and the new case?
Apparently on the out of bond, she already has an attorney, a private attorney.
Okay.
According to the cover sheet. Name and date of birth, ma'am?
Naisha Akins, 52991.
Ms. Akins, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you. You're here on a violation of probation out of Seminole County. The judge set your bond at 0, so we'll let them know to come get you, okay?
Can I say something?
I'm sorry?
I have a bond over there. They're just waiting to pick me up. I got a $300 bond over there.
I have that you have no bond on the violation of probation.
He's looking at the warrant.
Oh, they like she has.
Yeah, the warrant says no bond.
Seminole County, they picked me up first, and then
I think that might have been the original charge, and this is the violation of probation. So Holly Biggs. Name and date of birth, please.
Holly Biggs, 6/17/75.
Ms. Biggs, you're also here on an out-of-county warrant out of Broward? Out of Broward County? Oh, out of Broward County. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to help you on this matter. Judge in that case set no bond on 2 counts or 2 warrants. I'm sure. So that'll remain so. We'll let Broward County know. Annette Perry? All right, Ms. Perry, you're also, well, name and date of birth, please.
I can't hear you.
Your name and your date of birth.
Oh, I'm sorry. Annette Perry, 1/18/1970.
Okay, Ms. Perry, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
All right, you're here also on out-of-county warrants out of Seminole County. The judge in that case did issue you a bond. It's $2,000 each count. There's 2 counts, so the total bond is $4,000. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to assist you with that. We'll let Seminole County know unless you bond out, okay? Alexander Reyes.
Yeah.
All right. Your name and date of birth?
Say that again?
Your name and your date of birth.
Alexander Reyes, 08/17/99.
Mr. Reyes, you're also here on an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. The judge in that case set no bond on that case, so we'll let Seminole County know. We'll appoint Ms. Taylor's office to help you with that. Ruben Troncoso. All right, your name and your date of birth?
It's Ruben Troncoso, 12/02/2000.
All right, Mr. Troncoso, you're here on a violation of probation. So we'll find probable cause for that. Is this out of Seminole County? So the judge set your bond at 0, so we'll let Seminole County know and they'll come get you. We will appoint Ms. Taylor's office to help you.
I have a private attorney.
Okay.
I have a private attorney.
Okay, so we won't appoint Ms. Taylor's office to represent you.
Okay, and then, how long does Seminole County have to come get me?
I don't know.
That's fine.
We'll let them know. I mean, they'll.
Thank you.
Mia Wilson?
Hi, how are you?
What's your name and your date of birth?
My name is Mia Leslie Wilson. My birthday is June 24th, 1998.
All right, Ms. Wilson, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to help you with this case. You're here on an out-of-county warrant out of Seminole County. The judge in that case set your bond at 0, so it'll remain so. We'll let Seminole County know, okay?
I'm sorry?
We will let Seminole County know to come get you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have a question.
I have Jerome, I don't know if it's Bernard Bagby. Your name and date of birth, sir?
Bernard Bagby, 04/26/1978.
All right, Mr. Bagby. You're here on I'm gonna saw a warrant. You're here on 3 counts. First one is for attempted homicide. Second one is aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Third one is false imprisonment. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 3 counts: attempted homicide, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and false imprisonment. He qualifies for direct PTR?
No, sir.
Okay, it says, that's why I was I was surprised because it says yes. All right, so I'm going to set your bond as follows. On the attempted homicide, I'm going to set your bond at $50,000. On the aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, $25,000. On the false imprisonment, $3,000. So your total bond will be $78,000, if my math is right. Or you have no contact with the victim, not returned to the scene, and no drugs, weapons, or no drugs, alcohol, or other controlled substance without a prescription, and no weapons of any kind. Correct.
And can you repeat the bond for me for the aggravated battery?
25,000.
Your Honor, if you could, I'm sorry, go over the bond amounts. I have the 50,000 for count 1.
50, 25, 3. But I did see, I see this. Thank you, sir. Robert Longmore? Sir, your name and date of birth?
Robert Longmore, date of birth, June 4th, 1999.
All right, Mr. Longmore, I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 2 counts. First one is kidnapping. The second one is battery. All right. So I've reviewed the affidavit. I find there's probable cause for those charges. So I'm going to find probable cause for the charges. On the kidnapping, I'm going to hold no bond. And then on the battery, $10,000. Order no contact with victim or co-defendants, no return to the scene. And that'll be it.
And Judge, on this one, my argument is the same as in Miss Lee's case, who is on our move-up list. My argument is just that the supplemental report is not a sworn statement from law enforcement and should not be sufficient to allow the court to find proof evident presumption great and hold Mr. Longmore on no bond in this instance.
I think that all needs to be taken up. I mean, I'm doing my little research here. I think that needs to be taken up with the trial judge. So I'm just going to hold no bond, make no determination on this one as to proof evident presumption great. If we want to recall her, I'll make the same finding there. So if you want to do that, we can recall her and rescind her bond, and you can bring it up with the trial judge.
She's gone down. She's gone, right?
We can. I don't think we.
Yeah, she's gone. She's at FTC.
Yeah. I don't think we need her physically, because I appointed counsel. I mean, if you want, we'll address that at the end, though.
So the bond is none, and you did find evidence.
No, I made no finding on him as proof evident punishment, just no bond. Stephanie Longmore is next. Name and date of birth, please.
Stephanie Longmore, September 8th, 1995.
I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor and her office to represent you on this matter. You're here on 2 counts. First one's kidnapping. Second one is battery. I'm going to find probable cause. Counsel, if you want to put your argument on the record again.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I'm just arguing that the court should not hold Ms. Longmore no bond because there's no finding of proof evident presumption great, and the supplemental affidavit provided by the state is unsworn and should not allow the court a basis to make that finding. I understand the court's going to hold no bond without the finding. I am aware that there's some level of circuit split on this issue, but I don't know where that's come out, if it's come out. So that's my position at this point, is that she's entitled to a bond unless that finding is made.
I'm going to hold her no bond reserve on that finding for the trial judge. On the kidnapping, $10,000 on the battery. No contact with the co-defendants, no return to the scene, no weapons.
And Your Honor, no contact with the victim?
Yes. Thank you. No weapons. Jackie Hall?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. What's your name and date of birth?
Jacqueline Hall, 8275.
Mr. Hall, you're here on a violation of probation warrant. So a judge has already found probable cause for that. he set your bond at 2,500 plus 1,000, total bond 3,500. I'm a little confused by that. Because I just have one case of violation of probation. Oh, he's on probation on 2 counts? Okay. So count 1 of the VOP is 25, count 2 is 1,000. Your total bond set by the judge is $3,500. I'm gonna appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you on this matter. Okay. Michael Parker?
Yes, sir.
What's, name and date of birth?
Michael Parker, May 1983.
All right, Mr. Parker, you're also here on a violation of probation, so another judge has already found probable cause. He set your bond at no bond, so I'll stay that bond. That's it. And I'm gonna appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Jackie, you separate the bond amount, or you just said 3,500?
I said 3,500 is the warrant. I just read off the warrant. He had 2,500 plus 1,000, total 3,500.
And then for the other ones, 1,000.
Yeah.
That's what it shows on there. It's two counts. See, on probation for count 1 and count 3. And the judge will belong. Look at it up.
I just heard 3,500, so I didn't want to make sure. Thank you.
Your name? Name and date of birth, please.
Rashika Randolph, February 28, 1980.
All right, Ms. Randolph, you're here on one kind of violation of probation. So a judge has found probable cause for the violation, set your bond at no bond. So it'll remain so. I will appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you.
Judge, would you consider exercising discretion to set a bond on this VOP this morning? I see from Ms. Randolph's criminal history that she has nothing that would disqualify her from a bond. She's not a violent felony offender of special concern, so the court does have discretion to give her a bond on the violation of probation.
I won't. I think she just needs to bring it up with Judge Rivera. I'll revoke. On the case she's out on bond, I'll revoke, let them handle everything at once on that. Revoke. Sylvester Swinton?
Return. Judge, can I just have a second to double check this case number on Ms. Randolph?
Sure. Which case number?
It's 2020 CF 10457 AO. She was under the impression that the case was resolved. I think what the issue is she accepted diversion. But the concern I have with revoking the bond is that I don't see where a new law offense happened that would allow revocation of that case she was out on bond for.
State? Do you have the case? I don't even have access to Orange. Take no action on the other case. No action on the other case.
Thank you.
Sylvester Swinton. Sir, your name and your date of birth. Swinton, you're here on a violation of probation. So another judge has found probable cause for violation of probation. She set your bond at 0, so I'll stay that bond. Thank you, sir. I'll appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you. Ronald Valentine. Sir, your name and date of birth?
Ronald Valentine, 3/12/62.
All right, Mr. Valentine, you're also here on a violation of probation, so another judge has found probable cause that you violated probation, set your bond at 0. I'll stay that bond, and I will appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you.
All right. You're all set.
Tad Sharon. All right, sir, your name and date of birth?
Sharon, January 4th, 1966.
Mr. Sharon, you're here on a city ordinance, violation of city ordinance for disorderly conduct. I reviewed the affidavit. I do find that there is probable cause for that charge. I'm going to appoint Ms. Taylor in her office to represent you.
Judge, we'd be asking for ROR or in the alternative for an offer from the state.
Is he transient? Are you transient? Do you have a home?
I have a home here.
Or is it, how long have you lived there?
I've lived here I lived at the same place about 3 years.
3 years? Okay.
909, 24th Street,
Is that Orlando or is that,
Orlando.
what's the zip code?
32805.
I'm going to ROR him.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor?
Hold on, wait, sorry. Hold on, Ms. Taylor. Hold on. Wait, sir.
If I could just get that address repeated for the record?
Sure. Can you repeat that address for us, please?
909, 24th Street, Orlando, Florida, 32805.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. So if we want to readdress that case, can I see it again? Do you waive her appearance just to